Human cloning, another secret of Hollyweird, the world's elites, and the pharmaceutical industry. And today we're going to be talking about it, guys. And I'm sure some of you, if you're on this channel, might already have heard about this stuff. And a lot of you are going to be feeling very skeptical. Understandable. But in this video, I'm going to be talking not only about what the cynicism behind cloning and what I think the real purposes of it are, but also the science. So when you hear the science, you'll understand that it's actually a lot more easy than you would think. Now, technically it's not easy because you still need high quality like scientific equipment, etc. But the science behind it is very understandable for the average person. So let's start there. How can you clone a human being? Do you just put them into a cloning machine? What do you do? Well, what they do is they do a process called nuclear transfer. And what that means is they will take the nucleus from one cell and they'll put the nucleus into another cell. That's like nuclear transfer. Now, what is in the nucleus? The nucleus is the part of the cell that's got the cell's DNA, the genetic information, and a bunch of other things, I think, as well. So by taking that, your cells, your different cells in your body, in your nucleuses of them, should all have the same information about what a blood cell looks like for whoever you are, or this cell or that cell. Okay, now I am a chemist. I had to do biology as part of doing my chemistry degree, which I'm not a big fan of biology, but anyway, it's another story for another day. But as it happens, one of my favorite subjects of biology was actually cell organelles. So it's actually kind of cool to talk about this stuff. So what they do is they take the cell, the egg cell, and I'm going to assume that it's a fertilized egg cell already. So it's already got what would have been the baby between the mother and the father. And they take that cell and they put the nucleus of a cell from, so they could take one of my cells, remove the nucleus from that and put that in and swap and take out and put that into, the egg cell, and voila, the eggs, what do you call them? Oh my gosh, why is speech not in my repertoire today? Like, what's happening? Anyway, does all the cells start to divide, you end up with an embryo, boom, bang, bing, before you know it, you've got a baby, you've got a clone, right? Crazy. I must say it's not an exact science, as in the clones were not going to come out exactly the same. Of course, they haven't lived the same life as the person, had the same experiences, but they do look very, very similar. And there's a few people who've come out and spoken out about being clones. And we're going to be talking more about that, a lot more about that, because clones is something that is very important in the industries right now. Now, there is a website called Clonage. Let's start here. There is a website called Clonage, so you can actually find this information on there. That's where I found out how they do the that they use nuclear transfer, because I was like, how does this work, right? Now, interestingly, this is what they claim to help. These are the things they claim to help with as part of the cloning, and this is where it starts to get weird. Okay, so they say that it's to help people who are sterile, okay, to help people who are homosexual be able to have children, okay, create an identical version of the person you have. That's when it starts to get weird, because why are we doing that? Hollyweird, world elites, we're going to talk about that. To remake somebody that you've lost. So somebody's died and you make a cloned version of them. Again, I think that's weird, because they're not going to have the same soul. They're not even going to be the same person. So really strange. And the clones still have to actually be born, be born like a baby and grow up and everything like that. So I'll be very interested, to be honest with you. Oh my gosh, what if this is why Hollyweird loves to have children? Because think about it like this, right? This is you guys here for my thought track, which is exactly why I don't edit my videos and I just talk straight from my head, so you guys can be here for the process, right? Oh my gosh, what if the reason why they love children so much in Hollyweird is because then they can extract cells from them from early, right? So while they're kids, while they're like 8 or whatever, so by the time they're like 35, if their clone is only like 27 or something, 29, they might not look that different. Maybe if this is why this is happening, because I feel like there are a lot more clones coming onto the scene. We're hearing a lot more about it now, and I think that's because they're finally like, oh my gosh, this has got to be it. Anyway, let me calm down. Let me calm all the way down. But this is something, and I'll talk about why they would even want to do this stuff, because one of the clones, somebody who claims to be a clone, talked about why they would do this. So anyways, anywho, haha. What else do they use the clones for? For people who are HIV positive and they want to have a child who's non-HIV, which I think is really cool in that sense. Here's an interesting thing. On the website, this is what it says. Clonage is a project name. The company under which we operate is different and is not revealed for obvious, interesting that they included the word obvious. Why say obvious security? Why do you need to tell people it's obvious? Why not just say security? So the fact they've added in obvious there, you might think I'm overlooking into it too much. To me, it just gives me one of those little obvious security reasons as to protect the safety of the employees and the customers. Of course, everything that these evil people do, they do it, they have some lovely reason why we're doing this, for the good of society, for world peace. Everything's about world peace and love. No, it's not. What it is about manipulation, because guess what I heard? Guess what I heard? Well, what I heard was, sorry, let me keep my paper here in case I need any more notes here. Okay, right? What I heard was from one of the clones, which I'm going to talk about this clone more in another video. I believe his name's Donald. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he came out and said a lot about what was going on underground, how he's actually a clone that they use to write music for other artists out there, that the artists ain't even writing their own music. They ain't even writing their own music. Somebody underground and the clones, and I talked about this underground network in my little mini series I just did about child trafficking. It's all going on underground, guys. It's all underground, right? So just letting you know, and also just quick heads up now, let you know, there's going to come a time where they're going to fake a bunch of weather stuff and make it look like it's the end times and like God is coming. And then they're going to be like, guys, come, you'll be safe underground. You'll be safe underground. And then you'll be trapped. And then at that point, they won't have to pretend that they are who they are. And it's going to be very problematic. So when that happens, don't fall for it. Just putting that out there. Look, guys, I'll be giving you info. And right now it might sound crazy, but hey, at least I said it. So if it starts to look that way, you can remember and you can be like, oh my gosh, I remember she said this was going to happen. Okay, anyways, glory be to the Lord, because he's the one who gives me the privilege of knowing things, because that's what happens when you close with the Lord, when he's your dad and all that. Anyway, so what was I saying? So these clones and stuff underground, one of the reasons they make clones for the celebrities, right? Because the entertainment industry is just a cover up, and I'm going to talk about that in a separate video, because that's a whole nother explanation in and of itself, because there's so many layers to the different things that it's covering up, right? But what I will say in this video is that one of the things that they do with the clones is, say you've got an artist, and we already know the artists are just a product. We've already established that on this channel. If you you don't know about that, please check through my videos. Please check through all my videos. I talk in so many of my videos about how, you know, the industry just gets people, young, talented people, use, abuse, dispose. That's what they do. They don't really care about helping artists to actually have the careers that artists want to have. They don't really care about none of that. They care about whatever other things they care about, that I'm going to talk about in the upcoming video about what the entertainment industry is really a cover up for. So please check that video out when it comes out. So what they do with these clones, right, is they basically use them against, and this is what this guy was saying. I believe his name is Donald. I can't remember this guy's name right now. But anywho, he was saying that they'll have multiple clones for somebody, right, that live underground, and they'll use those clones as like a threat. So like basically, let's say you're Beyonce, and they have 3 Beyonce clones. They'll be like, well, Beyonce, if you don't do everything we say the way we say it, we're going to kill you and we're going to use one of your clones. And so there's a lot of theories out there about certain people, certain artists who have been replaced by clones. And that's why they act a bit funny. That's why they look like the person, but something's just off. And I want to explain, the reason why I want to talk about this from my perspective as well is because I really think a lot of these little inklings, these little feelings, these little urges, little gut feelings and things we get, I really believe that's the Lord letting us know, giving us little information to be like, something's off here, right? And you can't fake that. You can't fake the real deal. Fake is on, you can make the best fake ever and it still ain't never gonna be real. Do you get what I'm saying? So very interesting, this whole cloning cloning situation. The science behind it is pretty simple, as I'm sure you can see, to understand, but the power of them being able to clone people is pretty scary. I mean, they could just decide to just make a whole army underground of cloned people that just listen to whatever they say and don't have opinions. They could just replace human beings with clones and use the clones to vote for people that they want to be in power. You know, they could use clones and send these clones out into war and do horrible things, because we know a lot of horrible things happen in wars. because instead of trying to convince us, those of us who have free will, those of us who the Lord created and were fearfully and wonderfully made by the Lord, we have rights, and we know we have rights, and we fight for these things. Whereas these clones, this is what they grow up in, and they only get to see the light of day when, if they're chosen to be seen in the light of day. So it's kind of crazy, all of this stuff. I ain't even gonna lie, but I had to share this with you guys. Like, when I was, and it's so funny how I got onto this subject, because I was actually looking up stuff for the Johnny Depp video, like the Johnny Depp Amber Heard videos. Can you imagine? This is what happens when I'm researching stuff. I end up down these rabbit holes and end up learning things I didn't intend to learn. But you know, that's how it works sometimes with me and the Lord, you know. But I will be talking more about that also. So do look out for those videos as well. Thank you to everybody who is supporting my channel as well. So appreciated. Would love to hear what you guys have to say on this particular subject. I would also just like to add quickly that the first clone that they made, that Clonage made, which apparently was on the 26th of December, 2002, apparently they named Eve. It's like, can we leave God alone if you don't believe in him or you don't agree with him? Why is everything the God particle? Eve, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, why? It's because you're trying to, because this is the plan of the enemy. The enemy wants what God has, which is to have people that worship him, that he's in control of, or God's not in control. The enemy has no problem being in control. That's why you see the people in the world, the evil in the world, they don't care about you. They don't care about your free will. They don't care about you wanting you to actually have a relationship with them where you benefit and they benefit as well, like how having a relationship with God is like with me. They just want to use you as a product. You're just a number. You're just a number. You're just a number to get to where they're trying to get to, which we'll talk about more in my other videos. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying. I hope I see you another time. No, seriously, I really hope I do see you another time. Please do subscribe. Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Whether you agree, whether you disagree, whether you think I'm nuts, whether you think I'm smart, whether you think I'm the next Albert Einstein. I'm cool with that, okay? I'm cool with that. If you think I'm crazy, I'm cool with that. I'd rather have told you just in case I'm right than not tell you and then you discover when it's way too late. So don't forget to like the video as well. God bless you all, and I'll see you in my next one. Goodbye.